Good wishes to all of you. Social Science Contemporary India 2 Textbook in Geography for Class 10. Chapter 4 Agriculture Audiobook. Take a look at figure 4.1. India is an agriculturally important country. Two-thirds of its population is engaged in agriculture activities. Agriculture is a primary activity which produces most of the food that we consume. Besides food grains, it also produces raw material for various industries. Can you name some industries based on agricultural raw material? Moreover, some agricultural products like tea, coffee, spices, etc. are also exported. Types of farming. Agriculture is an age old economic activity in our country. Over these years, cultivation methods have changed significantly depending upon the characteristics of physical environment, technological know-how and socio-cultural practices. Farming varies from subsistence to commercial type at present in different parts of India. The following farming systems are practiced: primitive subsistence farming. This type of farming is still practiced in few pockets of India. Primitive subsistence agriculture is practiced on small patches of land with the help of primitive tools like hoe, dove, and digging sticks and family community labor. This type of farming depends upon monsoon, natural fertility of the soil, and suitability of other environmental conditions to the crops grown. It is a slash and burn agriculture. Farmers clear a patch of land and produce cereals and other food crops to sustain their family. When the soil fertility decreases, the farmer shift and clear a fresh patch of land for cultivation. This type of shifting allows nature to replenish the fertility of the soil through natural processes. Land productivity in this type of agriculture is low as the farmer does not use fertilizers or other modern inputs. It is known by different names in different parts of the country. Can you name some such types of farmings? It is jamming in northeastern states like Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Nagaland. Pamulo in Manipuri, Dipa in Bastar district of Chhattisgarh, and in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Jamming. The slash and burn agriculture is known as milpa in Mexico and Central America, conoco in Venezuela, roca in Brazil, masol in Central Africa, ladang in Indonesia, ray in Vietnam. In India, this primitive form of cultivation is called bevar or dahiya in Madhya Pradesh, podu or pendu in Andhra Pradesh. Pamadhabi or common or bringa in Odisha, Kumari in Western Ghats, Valre on Vulture in southern eastern Rajasthan, Kil in the Himalayan belt, Kuruva in Jharkhand and Jamming in the northeastern region. Rinja lived with her family in a small village at the outskirts of Dipu in Assam. She enjoys watching her family members clearing, slashing, and burning a patch of land for cultivation. She often helps them in irrigation the fields with water running through a canal from the nearby spring. She loves the surroundings and wants to stay here as long as she can. But this little girl has no idea about the declining fertility of the soil and her family search for fresh patch of land in the next season. Can you name the type of farming Rinja's family is engaged in? Can you enlist some crops which are grown in such farming? Intensive subsistence farming. This type of farming is practiced in areas of high population pressure on land. It is labor intensive farming where high doses of biochemical inputs and irrigation are used for obtaining higher production. Can you name some of the states of India where such farming is practiced? To the right of inheritance leading to the Division of land among successive generations has rendered land holding size uneconomical. The farmers continue to take maximum output from the limited land in the absence of alternative sources of livelihood. Thus, there is enormous pressure on agricultural land. Commercial farming. The main characteristics of this type of farming is the use of higher doses of modern inputs. Example, high yielding variety HYV seeds, chemical fertilizers, insecticides and pesticides in order to obtain higher productivity. The degree of commercialization of agriculture varies from one region to another. For example, rice is a commercial crop in Haryana and Punjab, but in Odisha it is a subsistence crop. Can you give some more examples of crops which may be commercial in one region and may provide subsistence in another region? Plantation plantation is also a type of commercial farming. In this type of farming, a single crop is grown on a large area. The plantation has an interface of agriculture and industry. Plantations cover large tracts of land using capital intensive inputs. With the help of migrant laborers, all the produce is used as raw material in respective industries. In India, tea, coffee, rubber, sugarcane, banana, etc. are important plantation crops. Tea in Assam and North Bengal, coffee in Karnataka are some of the important plantation crops grown in these states. Since the production is mainly for market, a well developed network of transport and communication connecting the plantation areas, processing industries, and markets plays an important role in the development of plantations. Take a look at figure 4.2, banana plantation in southern part of India. Take a look at figure 4.3, bamboo plantation in northeast. Cropping pattern. You have studied the physical diversities and plurality of cultures in India. There are also reflected in agricultural practices and cropping patterns in the country. Various types of food and fiber crops, vegetables and fruit species and condiments etc. constitute some of the important crops grown in the country. India has three cropping seasons: Rabi, Kharif and Zaid. Rabi crops are sown in winter from October to December and harvested in summer from April to June. Some of the important Rabi crops are wheat, barley, peas, gram and mustard. Though these crops are grown in large parts of India, states from the north and northwestern parts such as Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh are important for the production of wheat and other rabi crops. Availability of precipitation during winter months due to the western temperate cyclones helps in the success of these crops. However, the success of the Green Revolution in Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, and parts of Rajasthan has also been an important factor in the growth of the above mentioned rabi crops. Kharif crops are grown with the onset of monsoon in different parts of the country and these are harvested in September to October. Important crops grown during this season are paddy, maize, jowar, bajra, tur, arhar, moong, urad, cotton, jute, groundnut and soybean. Some of the most important rice growing regions are Assam, West Bengal, coastal regions of Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and along with Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Recently, paddy has also become an important crop of Punjab and Haryana. In states like Assam, West Bengal, and Odisha, three crops of paddy are grown in a year. These are Os, Aman, and Boro. In between the Rabi and the Kharif seasons, there is a short season during the summer months known as the Zaid season. Some of the crops produced during Zaid are watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber, vegetables and fodder crops. Sugarcane takes almost a year to grow. Major crops. A variety of food and non-food crops are grown in different parts of the country depending upon the variations in soil, climate and cultivation practices. Major crops grown in India are rice, wheat, millets, pulses, tea, coffee, sugarcane, oil seeds, cotton and jute, etc. Rice. It is the staple food crop of a majority of the people in India. Our country is the second largest producer of rice in the world after China. It is a kharif crop which requires high temperature about 25 degrees C and high humidity with annual rainfall above 100 centimeters. In the areas of less rainfall, it grows with the help of irrigation. Take a look at figure 4.4a, rice cultivation. Take a look at figure 4.4b, rice is ready to be harvested in the field. Take a look at this map, India, distribution of rice. Take a look at figure 4.5, wheat cultivation, 4.6, bajra cultivation, 4.7, maize cultivation. Rice is grown in the plains of north and northeastern India, coastal areas, and the deltaic regions. Developments of dense network of canal irrigation and tube wells have made it possible to grow rice in areas of less rainfall such as Punjab, Haryana, and western Uttar Pradesh and parts of Rajasthan. Wheat. This is the second most important cereal crop. It is the main food crop in north and northwestern part of the country. This rabi crop requires a cool growing season and a bright sunshine at the time of ripening. It requires 50 to 75 centimeters of annual rainfall evenly are two important wheat growing zones in the country, the Ganga Satluj plains in the northwest and black soil region of the Deccan. The major wheat producing states are Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar and Rajasthan. Millets. Jowar, Bajra and Ragi are the important millets grown in India. Though these are known as coarse grains, they have very high nutritional value. For example, Ragi is very rich in iron, calcium, other micronutrients and roughage. Jowar is the third most important food crop with respect to area and production. It is a rain-fed crop mostly grown in the moist areas which hardly needs irrigation. Major jowar producing states are Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. Bajra grows well on sandy soils and shallow black soil. Major bajra producing states are Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat and Haryana. Ragi is a crop of dry regions and grow well on red, black, sandy, loamy and shallow black soils. Major ragi producing states are Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Jharkhand and Arunachal Pradesh. Maize. It is a crop which is used both as food and fodder. It is a kharif crop which requires temperature between 21 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius and grows well in old alluvial soil. In some states like Bihar, maize is grown in Rabi season also. Use of modern inputs such as HYN seeds, fertilizers and irrigation have contributed to the increasing production of maize. Major maize producing states are Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Take a look at map. Distribution of wheat. Take a look at figure 4.8, sugarcane cultivation. Take a look at figure 4.9, groundnut, sunflower and mustard are ready to be harvested in the field. Pulses. India is the largest producer as well as the consumer of pulses in the world. These are the major source of protein in a vegetarian diet. Major pulses that are grown in India are tur, arhal, urad, moong, masoor, peas and gram. Can you distinguish which of these pulses are grown in the kharif season and which are grown in the rabi season? Pulses need less moisture and survive even in dry conditions. Being leguminous crops, all these crops except arhar help in restoring soil fertility by fixing nitrogen from the air. Therefore, these are mostly grown in rotation with other crops. Major pulse producing states in India are Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka. Food crops other than grains, sugarcane. It is a tropical as well as a subtropical crop. It grows well in hot and humid climate with a temperature of 21 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius, and an annual rainfall between 75 centimeters and 100 centimeters. Irrigation is required in the regions of low rainfall. It can be grown on a variety of soils and needs manual labor from sowing to harvesting. India is the second largest producer of sugarcane only after Brazil. It is the main source of sugar, jaggery, kansari, and molasses. The major sugarcane producing states are Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Bihar, Punjab, and Haryana. Oil seeds. In 2015, India was the second largest producer of groundnut in the world after China. Its rapeseed production, India was third largest producer in the world after Canada and China in 2015. Different oil seeds are grown covering approximately 12% of the total cropped area of the country. Main oil seeds produced in India are groundnut, mustard, coconut, sesame, till, soya bean, castor seeds, cotton seeds, linseed, and sunflower. Most of these are edible and used as cooking mediums. However, some of these are also used as raw material in the production of soap, cosmetics, and ointments. Groundnut is a kharif crop and accounts for about half of the major oilseeds produced in the country. Gujarat was the largest producer of groundnut, followed by Rajasthan and Tamil Nadu in 2015 to 16. Linseed and mustard are rabi crops. Sesame is a kharif crop in north and rabi crop in south India. Castor seed is grown both as rabi and kharif crop. Tea. Tea cultivation is an example of plantation agriculture. It is also an important beverage crop introduced in India entirely by the British. Today, most of the tea plantations are owned by Indians. The tea plant grows well in tropical and subtropical climates, endowed with deep and fertile, well drained soil rich in humus and organic matter. Tea bushes require warm and moist frost free climate although a year. Frequent showers evenly distributed over the year ensure continuous growth of tender leaves. Tea is a labor intensive industry. It requires abundant, cheap, and skilled labor. Tea is processed within the tea garden to restore its freshness. Major tea producing states are Assam, hills of Darjeeling, and Jalpaiguri districts, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. Apart from these, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Meghalaya, Andhra Pradesh, and Tripura are also tea producing states in the country. In 2015, India was the second largest producer of tea after China. Coffee. Indian coffee is known in the world for its good quality. The Arabica variety entirely brought from Yemen is produced in the country. This variety is in great demand all over the world. Entirely its cultivation was introduced on the Baba Bhutan hills, and even today its cultivation is confined to the Nilgiri in Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Take a look at figure 4.10, tea cultivation. 4.11, tea leaves harvesting. Take a look at figure 4.12, apricots, apple, and pomegranate. 4.13, cultivation of vegetables, peas, cauliflower, tomato, and brinjal. Source: Pocket Book of Agriculture Statistics 2017, Government of India, Directorate of Economics and Statistics. Horticulture crops. In 2015, India was the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world after China. India is a producer of tropical as well as temperature fruits. Mangoes of Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh, and West Bengal. Oranges of Nagpur and Cherrapunji, Meghalaya. Bananas of Kerala, Mizoram, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu. Lychee and guava of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Pineapples of Meghalaya, grapes of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Maharashtra. Apples, pears, apricots, and walnuts of Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh are in great demand the world over. India is an important producer of pea, cauliflower, onion, cabbage, tomato, brinjal, and potato. Non-food crops, rubber. It is an equatorial crop, but under special conditions, it is also grown in tropical and subtropical areas. It requires moist and humid climate with rainfall of more than 200 centimeters and temperature about 25 degrees Celsius. Rubber is an important industrial raw material. It is mainly grown in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Garo Hills of Meghalaya. Activity. List the items which are made of rubber and are used by us. Fiber crops. Cotton, jute, hemp, and natural silk are the four major fiber crops grown in India. The first three are derived from the crops grown in the soil. The latter is obtained from cocoons of the silkworms fed on green leaves, especially mulberry. Rearing of silkworms for the production of silk fiber is known as sericulture. Cotton. India is believed to be the original home of the cotton plant. Cotton is one of the main raw materials for cotton textile industry. In 2015, India was second largest producer of cotton after China. Cotton grows well in drier parts of the black cotton soil of the Deccan Plateau. It requires high temperature, light rainfall or irrigation, 210 frost-free days and bright sunshine for its growth. It is a kharif crop and requires 6 to 8 months to mature. Major cotton producing states are Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh. Jute. It is known as the golden fiber. Jute grows well on well drained fertile soils in the floodplains where soils are renewed every year. High temperature is required during the time of growth. West Bengal, Bihar, Assam, Odisha, and Meghalaya are the major jute producing states. It is used in making gunny bags, mats, ropes, yarn, carpets, and other artifacts. Due to its high cost, it is a losing market to synthetic fibers and packing materials, particularly the nylon. Take a look at figure 4.1 for cotton cultivation. Okay, technological and institutional reforms. It was mentioned in the previous pages that agriculture has been practiced in India for thousands of years. Sustained use of land without compatible techno-institutional changes have hindered the pace of agricultural development. In spite of development of sources of irrigation, most of the farmers in large parts of the country still depend upon monsoon and natural fertility in order to carry on their agriculture for a growing population. This poses a serious challenge. Agriculture, which provides livelihood for more than 60% of its population, needs some serious technical and institutional reforms. Thus, collectivization, consolidation of holdings, cooperation, and abolition of jamindari, etc., were given priority to bring about institutional reforms in the country after independence. Land reform was the main focus of our first 5-year plan. The right of inheritance had already led to fragmentation of land holdings, necessitating consolidation of holdings. The law of land reforms were enacted, but the implementation was lacking or lukewarm. The government of India embarked upon introducing agricultural reforms to improve Indian agriculture in the 1960s and 1970s. The Green Revolution based on the use of packaged technology and the White Revolution Operation Flood were some of the strategies initiated to improve the lot of Indian agriculture, but this too led to the concentration of development in few selected areas. Therefore, in the 1980s and 1990s, a comprehensive land development program was initiated, which included both institutional and technical reforms, provision for crop insurance against drought, flood, cyclone, fire and disease, establishment of Grameen banks, cooperative societies and banks for providing loan facilities to the farmers at lower rates of interest were some important steps in this direction. Kisan Credit Card (KCC). Personal Assistant Insurance Scheme PAIS or some other schemes introduced by the Government of India for the benefit of the farmers. Moreover, special weather bulletins and agricultural programs for farmers were introduced on the radio and television. The government also announces minimum support price, remunerative and procurement prices for important crops to check the exploitation of farmers by spec- speculators and middlemen. Bhudan and Gramdhan. Mahatma Gandhi declared Vinoba Bhave as his spiritual heir. He also participated in Satyagraha as one of the foremost Satyagrahis. He was one of the votaries of Gandhi's concept of Swarajya. After Gandhi's martyrdom, Vinoba Bhave undertook a Padhyatra to spread Gandhiji's message covered almost the entire country. Once, when he was delivering a lecture at Pochampalli in Andhra Pradesh, some poor landless villagers demanded some land for their economic well being. Vinoba Bhave could not promise it to them immediately but assured them to talk to the government of India regarding provision of land for them if they undertook cooperative farming. Suddenly, Sri Ramchandra Reddy stood up and offered 80 acres of land to be distributed among 80 landless villagers. This act was known as Budhan. Later, he travelled and introduced his ideas widely all over India. Some zamindars, owners of many villages, offered to distribute some villages among the landless. It was known as Gramdan. However, many landowners chose to provide some part of their land to the poor farmers due to the fear of land selling act. This Bhudan Gramdhan movement initiated by Vinoba Bhave is also known as the Bloodless Revolution. Take a look at figure 4.15 modern technological equipments used in agriculture. Contribution of agriculture to the national economy, employment and output. Agriculture has been the background of the Indian economy, though its share in the gross domestic product GDP has registered a declining trend from 1951 onwards. In 2010 to 11, about 52% of the total workforce was employed by the farm sector, which makes more than half of the Indian population dependent on agriculture for sustenance. The declining share of agriculture in the GDP is a matter of serious concern because any decline and stagnation in agriculture will lead to a decline in other spheres of the economy, having wider implications for society. Considering the importance of agriculture in India, the Government of India made concerted efforts to modernize agriculture. Establishment of India Council of Agriculture Research ICAR, agricultural universities, veterinary services and animal breeding centers, horticulture development, research and development in the field of meteorology and weather forecast, etc., were given priority for improving Indian agriculture. Apart from this, improving the rural infrastructure was also considered essential for the same activity. Find out why an Indian farmer does not want his son to become a farmer. From the table 4.1, it is clear that the GDP growth rate is increasing over the years. It is not generating sufficient employment opportunities in the country. The growth rate in agriculture has been decelerating, which is an alarming situation. Today, Indian farmers are facing a big challenge from international competition and reduction in the public investment in agriculture sector. Take a look at table 4.1, India growth rate of GDP and major sectors in a 0%. Source Economic Survey 2015 to 16. Note, these are provincial figures. Sector agriculture, industry, services, GDP. 2013 to 14, 14 to 15, 15 to 16. Agriculture 4.2, minus 0.2, 1.1. Industry 5.0, 5.9, 7.3. Services 7.8, 10.3, 9.2. Take a look at this GDP. 2013 to 14 6.6, 14 to 15 7.2, 15 to 16 7.6. When farmers have been facing so many problems and land under agriculture is decreasing, can we think of alternative employment opportunities in the agriculture sector? Sorry. Uh, Subsidy on fertilizers is decreased, leading to increase in the cost of production. Moreover, reduction in important duties on agriculture products have proved detrimental to agriculture in the country. Farmers are withdrawing their investment from agriculture, causing a downfall in the employment in agriculture. When farmers have been facing so many problems and land under agriculture is decreasing, can we think of alternative employment opportunities in the agriculture sector? Why are farmers committing suicides in several states of the country? Impact of globalization on agriculture. Globalization is not a new phenomenon. It was there at the time of colonization in the 19th century when European traders came to India. At that time too, Indian species were exported to different countries of the world and farmers of South India were encouraged to grow these crops. Till today, it is one of the important items of export from India. During the British period, cotton belts of India attracted the British and ultimately cotton was exported to Britain as a raw material for their textile industries. Cotton textile industry in Manchester and Liverpool flourished due to the availability of good quality cotton from India. You have read about the Champaran movement which started in 1917 in Bihar. This was started because farmers of that region were forced to grow indigo on their land because it was necessary for the textile industry which were located in Britain. They were unable to grow food grains to sustain their families. Under globalization, particularly after 1990, the farmers in India have been exposed to new challenges despite being an important producer of rice, cotton, rubber, tea, coffee, jute, and spices. Our agriculture products are not able to compete with the developed countries because of the highly subsidized agriculture in those countries. Take a look at figure 4.16, tissue culture of tea clones. Activity: organize a debate on food security of India, its need and efforts. World Food Day theme: invest in agriculture for food security. 11th plant must focus on farming, produce more food grain. The seeds of farmer suicides, crop failure, price crash act as triggers. Center is support to check price rise. Diversity your diet for achieving better nutrition for health and development. Activity: organize a debate on food security of India, its need and efforts. Today, Indian agriculture finds itself at the crossroads to make agriculture successful and profitable. Proper thrust, proper thrust should be given to the improvement of the condition of marginal and small farmers. The Green Revolution promised much, but today it's under controversies. It is being alleged that it has caused land degradation due to overuse of chemicals, drying aquifers and vanishing biodiversity. The keyword today is Gene Revolution, which includes genetic engineering. Genetic engineering is recognized as a powerful supplement in inventing new hybrid varieties of seeds. Can you name any gene modified seed used vastly in India? In fact, organic farming is much in vogue today because it is practiced without factory made chemicals such as fertilizers and pesticides. Hence, it does not affect environment in a negative manner. A few economists think that Indian farmers have a bleak future if they continue growing food grains on the holdings that grow smaller and smaller as the population rises. India's rural population is about 833 million 2011, which depends upon 250 million approximate hectares of agriculture land, an average of less than half a hectare per person. Indian farmers should diversify their cropping pattern from cereals to high value crops. This will increase incomes and reduce environmental degradation simultaneously because fruits, medicinal herbs, flowers, vegetables, biodiesel crops like jatopa and jojoba need much less irrigation than rice of sugarcane. India's diverse climate can be harnessed to grow a wide range of high value crops. Change in cropping pattern, for example, from cereals to high value crops, will mean that India will have to import food. During 1960s, this would have been seen as a disaster. But if India imports cereal while exporting high value commodities, it will be following successful economies like Italy, Israel, and Chile. These countries exports farm products, fruits, olives, specialty seeds and wine, and import cereals. Are we ready to take this risk? Debate the issue. Multiple choice questions. Which one of the following describes a system of agriculture where a single crop is grown on a large area? Shifting agriculture, plantation agriculture, horticulture, intensive agriculture. Which one of the following is a rabi crop? Rice, millets, gram, cotton. Which one of the following is a leguminous crop? Pulses, millets, jawar, sesame. Answer the following questions in 30 words. Name one important beverage crop and specify the geographical conditions required for its growth. Name one staple crop of India and the regions where it is produced. Enlist the various institutional reform programs introduced by the government in the interest of farmers. The land under cultivation has got reduced day by day. Can you imagine its consequences? Answer the following questions in about 120 words. Suggest the initiative taken by the government to ensure the increase in agriculture production. Describe the impact of globalization on Indian agriculture. Describe the geographical conditions required for the growth of rice. Project work. Group discussion on the necessity of literacy among farmers on an outline map of India show wheat producing areas. Activity. Solve the puzzles by following your search horizontally and vertically to find the hidden answers. The two staple food crops of India. This is the summer cropping season of India. Pulses like arhar, moong, gram, urad contain. It is a coarse grain. The two important beverages in India are one of the four major fibers grown on black soils. Thank you.